you know what? I can't really be bothered. I don't think I'm interested in this enough to watch the full thing. So let's kind of just skim through it and see what Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed is all about.
Hey, we're back with another episode of Before You Buy, that show where we give you some straight up gameplay and our first impressions of the latest games releasing. Hi,
this
folks.
is the new Ghostbusters game that's kind of, it's a co-op, like a 4v Ghost thing. I don't know if you can play as the Ghost, though.
And Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed just happened. Now, there's a whole lot going on with this game, so let's start off with some basics. Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed is an asynchronous 4v1 multiplayer game where there's a team of 4 Ghostbusters. You can probably guess this next part, taking on a ghost. So this...
I don't understand why developers are so insistent on pushing this game model when it fails 10 times out of 10. It really... You've got Dead by Daylight. What's another 4v1 game that's successful right now? Off the top of my head, I don't know of any. Like, quite literally don't know of any. There was Friday the 13th that fell flat on its ass. There was Ash versus Evil Dead, or Evil Dead. I can't remember what the game was called. That fell flat on its ass. There was Evolve. That fell flat on its ass. Dead by Daylight is popular and publishers have no imagination. True. Yeah, Dead by Daylight is the only one that's popular. And if I'm being honest, I don't fully understand why. The new Ash vs. Evil game looks a lot more interesting and looks far better. Evolve looked better and was more fun and way more creative. I don't fully understand what it is that people like about Dead by Daylight compared to those two. I don't think I'll ever really understand it. But... And I mean, I liked it. I had fun as the monster, but there were people that only liked playing as the survivor. That confuses me. But I don't understand why people keep going with this model. I mean, if the monster can be played by AI, it's not so bad. But I would not pay money on anywhere near release for a game like this. Because once everyone stops playing, you can't play anymore unless you're playing with AI, at which point you're playing with AI and there's no story mode. I bet there's no story.
This game was created by Ilphonic, the makers of Predator Hunting Grounds, and the game...
Predator Hunting Grounds, another game 4v1 that crashed and burned. In fact, hold on a second. Steam stats. Let's go to Steam charts. Steam charts. Predator Hunting Grounds. Is that on? Yes, Predator Hunting Grounds. In the last 24 hours, it had a peak of 104 people. 6 minutes ago, there were only 62 people, and let me just be clear, on Earth. Not like in my time zone, on Earth. So if 50 of those people are in America, and you live in Europe or Australia, mate, you're screwed. So why would you put money into this? That's just bizarre. What's the all-time, dude, the all-time peak, the most it ever had was 1,491 people. For comparison, what's another game that we can look at that's kind of similar? Let's look at Evolve. Because I think that it had a little resurgence recently, but I'm not sure. Evolve Stage 2, it had 82 people playing it 7 minutes ago. And 24-hour peak's 153. And this is a brand new game. Predator Hunting Grounds came out when? Let me double check. Let's see. Predator Hunting Grounds, release date. The problem is, right, these games are paid. April. Wait. 2020? I thought this came out recently. Am I thinking of a different Predator game? Or has it been that long? Yeah, I'll tell you what. COVID was crazy for messing up your sense of time, huh? Okay, maybe my point doesn't stand as well. But the all-time peak still stands. That's ridiculous. That's the most they ever got when the all-time peak for Evolve was 51,000. That's kind of the difference between free-to-play and paid. You can't release a game like this and charge people for it. It doesn't work, dude. It's so stupid. So stupid. I thought that would have been a more family-friendly Phasmophobia clone. A more family-friendly branded Phasmophobia clone would have went nuts. They have to make it. Listen, if you're making a 4v1 game, you have to make it free to play. You have to have a battle pass. You have to allow people to afford the next battle pass by earning in the current battle pass. That's what you've got to do. That's the model that works. And then put in other cosmetics if you want. You can do that, but you can't release it as a paid game. How much? Wait a minute. I didn't even think about that. How much is a new Ghostbusters game? And is it even on Steam or is it Epic exclusive? Ghostbusters. Oh my god, is it not on Steam? Dude, the L's just keep on coming. What's going on here? Where can I buy this? First of all, oh my god, I think it's Epic only. And it's £32. Wait, is it on Steam and I'm losing my mind? Oh. No. It's not. Okay, cool. So it's not. That's awful. That's awful. I heard the Predator game was pretty good. I feel like there was next to zero support for it though. Oh. I heard that it was just really, really unbalanced, and that was the issue.
Already has our attention based on the Ghostbusters license, and they even managed to include the theme song, which was strangely missing from the recent Ghostbusters video game remaster that came out a couple years ago. If that matters. It matters to me.
Cool.
I love the song. I mentioned it for that reason. Now, this game is actually going to shock you a little bit. Has some actual story stuff going on, despite being an asynchronous 4v1 multiplayer game. So,
okay.
You're a new member of the expanded Ghostbusters, which is now run by Winston Zeddemore. And yes, Ernie Hudson does reprise his role, and Dan Aykroyd does as well where Ray stands. So there's a fairly long prologue and character creation that is surprisingly robust for a game like this. Then you're finally dropped into the game. Now, story, much more involved than what you would think. Every once in a while, the game takes you back to the firehouse, a story sequence plays out, and that's fun. You get to see some of the classic cast back doing their thing, but I will say, it does leave me wanting for like a more robust story mode or a co-op game or something like that. Because as it stands, there's really not a whole hell of a lot going on here. Like there's one game mode, there's 5 maps, and there's 5 different types of ghosts to unlock as you play.
Wait, what? Say that again? How many maps?
Like that. Because as it stands, there's really not a whole hell of a lot going on here. Like there's one game mode, there's 5 maps, and there's 5 different types of ghosts to unlock.
One game type, 5 maps, and 5 ghosts. And they're charging £32 for this. Like $32 to $40? Are you out of your mind?
Unlock as you play.
Just, dude, I'm not even exaggerating, okay? This is £32 for this, for a game that is multiplayer only, pretty much. Borderline no story, 5 ghosts, 5 maps, 1 game mode, or you could go to the Epic Store and get Fallout 3 for free right now. One of the greatest games ever made. Warhammer 40,000 Mechanicus is next week. That's an amazing game. What would you rather? Fallout 3 for free or £32 for Ghostbusters? Who the hell has... I don't think I'm alone in saying, who the hell has 4 friends that can all jump on and play a game like this at the same time? Who has 3 friends that could all, just like that, throw £32 into the air and just buy a game that will be dead in a week? Who has that kind of money? Who has that many friends? I'm in a Discord server with a bunch of guys that play shooters, because I like playing the new game Marauders. You know how many times I've been able to get a 4-man squad, despite the fact there's like 20 people in it? Twice. In like 2 weeks. So if with me and 20 other people, and I can't get a 4-man squad in that, how are you going to get it in Ghostbusters, dude? I don't understand the logic behind this. This is bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. You play Mechanicus. That game got me back into Warhammer 40k. Mechanicus was an incredible game. I never completed it. I think I kept running into bugs or something was frustrating with it, but I want to play it through. Not on stream, but I want to play it.
Probably want to play as the Ghost actually a decent amount. So all that in mind, that it's pretty minimal at the moment. It's pretty good too. The best way I can describe how the game plays is kind of a mix of Prop Hunt and Dead by Daylight, or the other million 4v1 games that exist. And I'm not saying that to be derisive. I'm saying that because this is a definite genre at this point.
Say it to be derisive because people are making the exact same thing again and again, slapping a license on it. It's Predator, it's Ghostbusters, it's let's put the Scream guy and all the different characters from all the horror movies into Dead by Daylight. That's the only thing that sells these. Here's the thing with these type of games. This is how you know whether or not these games are good. If you have to attach a license to the game, it's probably not good. You don't need to attach a license like a brand to Horizon Zero Dawn. You don't need to do that for what's another good example? Assassin's Creed was just Assassin's Creed. But this type of game, like you don't need to attach a brand to an open world game. You don't need to attach a brand to an RPG. Most of the time you don't need to attach it to a strategy game. But if you do attach it to a strategy game, you probably want it. Like a Gears of War strategy game, which we got, was one of the best tactics games I've ever played, better than XCOM, XCOM 2, Phantom Brigade, Phoenix Point, all of them. It's incredible. But if you, like, these games aren't good without, like, the only thing that makes me want to play this is Ghostbusters. That's it. And that's not just because, like, I like these types of games. This is probably fun to play. If this was free, I'd contact some mates and see if they were up for playing. That would be fun. But like where games like this fail is make it free to play and give it couch co-op. And then let me and my lady sitting on the sofa in split screen play online with 2 other people randomly. You know how many people you'd have playing your game? Like you could play this with your 5-year-old. Have them, give them a controller and say, look, there's a ghost, go chase it. How do I move? You push that stick forward, then you pull that trigger and you're killing ghosts. Killing ghosts? But I thought ghosts couldn't die. What happens when we die if we can die again? Put the controller down, go to bed.
Each Ghostbuster comes equipped with a proton pack, a PKE meter, and a ghost trap. The PKE meter is for finding ghosts, the particle thrower is for tethering them, ghost trap is for catching them. It's Ghostbusters, right? You understand it. There are, however, some new secondary gadgets, but currently there's only 4. Your actual goal for each job, as they call the matches, is to close all 3 rifts hidden around the level, and then finally catch
Aliens Fire Team, another... No, that wasn't a 4v1, was it? Aliens Fire Team wasn't. And then the Warhammer games weren't. That's just... And like Vermintide and stuff like that. There's a new Warhammer game coming out that looks amazing. It's like a Left 4 Dead Vermintide type thing, but with guns. What was that? Oh my god, I need to show you a game. Hold on, let me see if I can find this right now. It's in my mate's library. We share libraries. Let's see. It was Warhammer. Oh, Warhammer. He has a lot of Warhammer games. He likes his Warhammer. What was it called? Was it Inquisitor? No, was it Space Marine? No. Oh, I can't for the life of me remember what it was called. There is a Warhammer game. Mechanicus. It's not Mechanicus. Is it Deathwatch? No. What else could it be called? Space something? Space Hulk Deathwing. Let me show you what one of the greatest 4v whatever games was. This was like a Left 4 Dead style game. Okay?
The most feared killer.
Let me fast forward just so you can see. Oh, in fact, you know what? The quality here is going to be terrible. Let me show you what this looks like on YouTube. I'll find a really good quality one. Let's go. And then let's go for trailer. Hopefully we could gameplay trailer 4 years ago. Let's have a look.
Rated
This
M
is
for
on
mature.
PlayStation as well, so it looks better on PC.
Is it to pursue our
This is
quest
one
at
of the
any expense,
best looking
foregoing all other oaths
Left
and
4 Dead
duties?
type games I've
Is
ever
it to
seen.
lie, to hide and to plot, so that others will not know our shame?
Okay, here we go. Let's turn this down. Look at this. There are it feels like hundreds of enemies on screen at the same time. Everything is so chunky. Everything hits so hard. The bullets are just amazing. Oh my god, dude, this game. There's so much going on, and this is running at like 25 frames a second on the PS4. Of course it is, but absolutely incredible game. So if you're looking for like a 4v something, doesn't have to be versus a real person, like a Left 4 Dead type game. Space Hulk Deathwing Enhanced Edition.
Catch the ghost. Each rift
It's pricing decisions like this that will cause publishers and shareholders to say Ghostbusters games are not marketable, let's not make them anymore. Exactly, yeah. Don't get me wrong, if this game was free and had a battle pass, there'd be a whole different type of people complaining about it. Why is there a battle pass? Why can't I just pay for it to own it? I would maybe even be making that argument if I was, you know, if that's the universe that we lived in. But like, the fact of the matter is, something like this cannot be successful if it's paid to play. Just can't. You need to have 5 people on at once. After the first 3 months, it's not happening. There's no way.
starts off hidden, so you have to use the PKE meter to find it. And destroying them is required because if they're still on the board, the ghost is just going to keep coming back even after being trapped. The ghost gameplay is really where the game
I want to
gets
see this.
particularly interesting, in my opinion. As a ghost, your goal is to increase a haunt meter up to 100% by scaring civilians and haunting objects. Each of the 5 ghosts have very different play styles, but they all have the ability to do a scare attack and possess objects. That's where prop hunt comparisons start to come in, because possession turns you into a random object. You can use that to hide, and it also recharges your energy way faster, so it's a good idea to possess stuff. Now, this is where the balance starts to reveal its intricacy. As a Ghostbuster, you could just go around and destroy everything, right? No, you can't. The game punishes Ghostbusters for causing too much destruction, and it's actually usually more trouble than it's worth anyway. There's only one ghost, so every single item is not going to be the ghost. Playing
How does it punish you? Because this sounds real stupid.
as a ghost is a blast, and even though there's a slow drip feed of additional ghosts to play as, the basic gameplay really never got old. There's a fun hide-and-seek aspect to it, but you're almost never standing still for more than a few seconds because the Ghostbusters will inevitably find you. This being Ghostbusters, instead of injuring or killing anyone, all you can do is slime them, which slows them down and gives you time to get away. It's fun and a kid-friendly twist on this kind of multiplayer game, even if it doesn't necessarily feel like a kid's game. It's a good balance, though. Next, let's talk about...
I think I've seen enough of this. This looks like it sucks. Have a look at this. This is why I think that this looks like it sucks. Let me show you Evil Dead gameplay. Now, there's a new Evil Dead the game. The gameplay trailer. Let's have a little look at the gameplay overview trailer. This is what a 4v1 style game should look like. This is gameplay. This isn't cinematics. First of all, the graphics are infinitely better. The animation is better.
I'm Bruce Campbell. You know me as Ash Williams, the dude who saved the world from evil. I'm here to bring you the lowdown on
world
the
is
upcoming
better.
Evil Dead the game. You and your friends will team up as classic.
You get
Evil
to
Dead
play
heroes
as the
to live
actual
nightmare.
characters.
You'll use savage finishing moves or tear evil a new one. Or, if you're not into the whole save the world thing, we have another option.
Get to drive around. And then, do we have
You
any
can play
monster
as the wild
gameplay?
Kandarian demon itself. But who would want to do that? He'd be a dick. With the power of possession in your arsenal, you'll scare those goody two-shoes to death. Literally, you can do that if you're a dick. Whether you choose the path of evil or righteousness, You'll be throwing
So, like, my question is, if this, which, when did this release? Last year? This released last year. How's that last year? And then this year we get this. Like, this doesn't look good. The UI, terrible. The UI is terrible. Look at, but like, what have we got? Button, 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 button. Another at the top, another at the top left, a bar underneath it, got a symbol here, 2 arrows, like where I am, a bar there. Like, there's so much going on.
Overall, the game.
And then we look at Evil Dead. What was going on while we were looking at that? I don't know if maybe they removed the HUD, to be fair. So it's a little more difficult to judge. I don't remember there being a HUD, but I'm sure there is. But this is just messy. It looks like a mobile game.
Looks
the
pretty darn good.
graphics aren't good. The animation is poor. Like, if you told me that this was like a Unity project, I'd probably believe you. This is very...
and look pretty polished. Even though there's only 5
He's saying it looks
levels,
polished, but I
in terms
disagree.
of layout, the characters animate well, particularly the ghosts, certain objects you possess.
But like, game ranks are definitely more lenient, and this is a before you buy. I don't know if it is a review, but it doesn't really feel like a review because other channels will go in on these games more. They'll talk a little bit more about stuff. They'll talk a little bit more about stuff, but this is disappointing to me. I'm incredibly frustrated by this, mainly because... Why am I frustrated by this? Because developers keep making garbage like this, wasting their time and wasting our time. The only people that benefit from this are the people that are employed to make this, because that pays their wages for 2 years while this is being made. But then, I don't know, man. Like, this is frustrating. I would like to play a free-to-play version of this, and mark my words, either the servers will be shut down within 3 years, or it will go free-to-play within a year and a half. I don't know how you keep something like this popular. Then you've got to think, like, what kid... See, I don't actually know this, but I would hazard a guess that most kids under the age of, like, 12 have never seen Ghostbusters. Because you've got to think, how many parents enjoyed Ghostbusters as a kid? Let's say it's 50%, okay? 50% of them. And then let's say that of those 50%, maybe 50% actually sit down and watch movies with their kids and like care enough to put something on and chill with them and watch a movie. And of that 50%, maybe 50% of the kids made it through that movie without falling asleep because they just didn't like it because it was too old and I don't want to watch your old movies, Mom. You know? So you got to think about all these, like, the majority of kids that will play this, it's going to be near zero. So then you go, okay, well, if it's going to be near zero, who's playing this? Well, 25 to 45-year-olds. That's pretty much it. And of 25 to 45-year-olds, how many of those people have 3 mates that they can play with as Ghostbusters or want to play on their own as a monster? Unless they're streaming. I don't think it's many. Like, the thing that is really crazy to me is, how do I know this, but these developers don't? Do you think it's maybe that they do know, but like, it doesn't really matter whether or not this game is popular as long as it makes a profit? Because if that's the case, then I kind of get it. You know, churning out game after game that barely makes a profit doesn't sound smart. But if you can keep 20 people employed for 2 years and then make like $1 million or £1 million or even 100,000, and you've paid for everyone's wages for the last 2 years, that's not really a loss. I mean, it's a loss to the art form because you're churning out garbage to make minimum profits in order to keep people employed. So it's a win and a loss at the same time. But I still feel stupid, you know? Like, this is minimum effort right here. This is minimum effort. You can do better, man. I do really like the Ghostbusters brand, but I've only seen the first film. I've seen both. I didn't see the one... I saw both the original movies. Maybe there was more than 2. And then I I didn't watch the one where they replaced everyone with the woman cast, and then Chris Hemsworth back in 2017 or 18. I didn't watch that. And then I watched a little bit of the new Ghostbusters, like half an hour, and then turned it off because I didn't really like that either. But I like the original. I like the brand as well. It's weird. It's weird how you can like the brand for something but not really know that much about it. It's bizarre. Realistically, you need at least 4 friends willing to spend £30 each. Who, dude? That's never happening. Or one of those friends has to be rich. That's it. That's it. Increasingly difficult to do as I find as I get older. Yeah, I mean, maintaining friends as you get older is difficult enough, let alone maintaining friends who share your interests, let alone maintaining friends who share your interests, who have free time. Like, as people get older and get married and don't like going out anymore and don't like playing games anymore and are too tired from work and have kids, like, it's impossible. Well, yeah, the devs will benefit from having a job making this game, but when the numbers come back and the game makes no money, they'll most likely be kicked to the curb. Do you think? Not if it's a small studio, right? Depending on who published this. Yeah, depending on who published this. Nice wee bit of holiday money for Dan Aykroyd. Who's Dan Aykroyd? I know the name, but I don't know who it is. But yeah, I think I've seen everything I need to see here. I'd like to see like the last minute.
Drop, or for them to add in more content, because they're just... It's very solid. It's tons of fun. But in terms of like casual players, you might want to wait for a price drop or for them to add in more content, because there just isn't a lot here. That said, it's hard not to like what is there. So if you understand what you get going in and that's what you want, it's worth it. But what do you think? Leave us a comment. Tell us your experience with this game if you've played it. If not, tell us what you're thinking. This is one of those where it's kind of, the game's great, but it's short, and the shortness might actually be a problem for this type of game. So we'll see. I'm interested in your comments, though. If you like,
go over, like the video, subscribe, watch it through. I didn't watch all of it because not all of it interested me. But yeah, that looks awful. I would love, see if someone is watching this in the future, please comment and just tell me when this failed, because I'm predicting that it's gone before the end of 2025. That's what I'm predicting, and it possibly goes free to play in the early to mid 2024 before they eventually just can it in like February of 2025. That's the prediction. Like and subscribe. Thank you.